Do you know that God has a purpose over your life? It doesn't matter where you have come from. It doesn't matter the background that you have come from. It doesn't matter who you are, the parents that 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 birthed you in this place. It doesn't matter. What really matters is what God has for you. He knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb, and He set you apart. That's why God gets angry when you try to fit in. You must be unorthodox. You must be extraordinary. You must be willing to stand out rather than to fit in. There is nobody that tries to fit in that can ever be used by God maximally, because God has set you apart and He wants you to know that you are different, not try to fit with the status quo. You are outstanding. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter where you start. Even if you start in mediocrity, even if you start uh, in rugged situation, God still has a plan for you, and you need to step into your purpose. Don't worry about what the naysayers are saying. Don't worry about how your haters are saying. Don't worry about how enemies are saying. They can never change what God has for you. What they say doesn't matter. The message and the messenger doesn't matter. What really matters is what God says about you. I'm worried about what God says about me. I'm not worried about what other people say about me. What really matters is, who does God say that I am? I am who God says I am. I can do what God says I can do. I can be what God says I can be. When God says you can be something, you are. When God says that you are a prophet, you are. When God says that you are a businessman, you are. When God says this is your moment, you need to step into that moment, because that moment is for you. It doesn't matter the years that you have felt that you are restricted or restrained in a situation, restrained in your circumstances, and you are trying to work this or that, and you see like things are not working. They might not be working for now, but when you press on, when you keep on moving, when you keep on hitting, when you keep on exercising, when you keep on pressing on, something will really break out in your life. And it doesn't matter the point that you are in life. It doesn't matter. In fact, you should have an attitude of gratitude, knowing that where I am now, it is not where I used to be. Even if I'm making some baby steps, at least I'm going. So I'm not going to focus with my relatives. I'm not going to focus with my friends who are far much ahead of me. They may be far much ahead of me right now, but I'm still pressing on, because I'm not in a race with you. I'm in a race with me. So don't get your eyes fixated on the other people's success. Get fixated on what God has for you. You keep your eyes in touch of what God has for you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? No matter where you are, I keep on saying that no matter the background that you have come from, your history can influence you, but it can never determine where you are going. You have no choice to where you came from, but you have a choice of where you are going. God has given you knowledge, reasoning, ability to think clearly and succinctly and make choices of your own life. You need to make better decisions and tell God, I need your guidance. I need you to move with me. And it doesn't matter what people may think about you. Don't worry about where you are. Don't worry about where you are. You have come from far to give up at this point. You have come from far to give up at this point. I repeat again. Even if you make your bed in hell, God is right there. Somebody say, God is with me. The best thing to know in this life is to know that God is for me. Emmanuel, God is for me. God is for me. God is for me. And He is getting ready to open up the windows of heaven and pour out blessings that we will not have a room for. So, the reason as to why sometimes God waits us to develop, to evolve. Don't try to break out of a cocoon when it is not your time to become a butterfly. Don't do that. Don't do that. You need to stay there. You need to develop. You need to evolve. You need to mature, because so that you can handle the weight of the blessings that God is about to release in your life. You have to be much well prepared so that your nets may not start breaking. When God told Peter, cast up your net, launch into the deep. If Peter did not have friends at close proximity, he could have lost the blessing. So you need to get prepared. You need to know that God has a plan in my life, and no matter what people say, no matter what they say, no matter what my parents are saying, no matter where I come from, God still have a plan for me, and you need to step into that purpose. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Step into your purpose.